The mud of the Eastern Front was a churning frozen soup. For Anatoly, a Ukrainian sergeant, it was home. His world had shrunk to the trench, the weight of his rifle, and the faces of his men. Across the world, in a sun-drenched office in Virginia, Mark stared at a satellite image on his screen. A former insurance adjuster, he was now part of a clandestine U.S. effort, an intelligence volunteer. His job was to analyze the grainy photos and identify Russian positions. He was a ghost in the machine, a man fighting a war from a cubicle. One night, Mark spotted something critical: the faint, camouflaged outline of an artillery unit, positioned to obliterate a small Ukrainian stronghold. He flagged it, the data was processed, and the coordinates were sent. In his trench, Anatoly's radio crackled to life. A new voice, speaking in heavily accented translated Ukrainian, relayed a warning. Enemy artillery, grid 38. Evacuate position. The Americans. He never saw them, but their voices in the static had become as familiar as the sound of his own artillery. He barked orders. His unit scrambled from the trench just as the sky screamed. The ground where they had stood minutes before erupted in a firestorm of enemy shells. They were safe. Later, under a sky dotted with unfamiliar stars, Anatoly allowed himself a moment. He thought of the American ghost, the unseen hand that had pulled them from the grave. There was no flag waving, no grand ideology in that moment. Just the simple, profound understanding that a man he would never meet, sitting in a room he would never see, had chosen to stand with him. It was a war of drones and data, but at its core it remained a bond between two humans, a silent pact whispered across an ocean, forged in the desperate will to see the next sunrise.